Hey, welcome to another episode of Total Disruption. I am Dr. Jake Clendenning on behalf of my partner, Mr. Michael Laberzi. We are here with Mr. 2020 today. I've been looking forward to this interview all week, man. Ever since we started having this conversation, I've really been looking forward to this one. This is going to be a lot of fun today. And I kind of giggle a little bit and I was laughing, and you probably saw that where we were doing I love it when my guests say, "Yeah, let's rock and roll," and then we get to play the intro, and the intro is all rock and roll, and it's like, "Yeah, we're ready to go." So I'm super excited about it. So Mr. 2020, like, there's a lot of story going on here, but we'll. I could ask you why the Mr. 2020 name, but that prompts the whole story. That's everything to get there. I mean, it's a whole thing. So, like, tell us a little bit about you. Give us the teaser, and then we'll get deeper into it.
Beautiful. It is a real pleasure, Jake. I've been looking forward to this too. And welcome to Melbourne, Australia.
And it's a beautiful day there. I can see that. Like the sun is out, a little windy, but yeah, get outside, man. I'm excited about it. We've got a lot of friends of the show in Australia and Tasmania, so hopefully they're going to get to catch this episode too.
Nice.
So, all
So
right, man. Well, tell us a little bit about you. I could say start at the beginning, but let's start with Mr. 2020. You legally changed your name to that.
I did. I was reading a book that I pretty much can guarantee you've heard of called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon
And I'm a
Hill.
massive fan of another fellow named Neville Goddard. And they both have something really powerful in mind about what I will call the power of vision. And at the end of the day, I'll tell you a little story about a massive state policeman. Uh, at the end of the day, your vision and your mission matter. And I'm a fella, so I can only speak from a fella's perspective. But I really get a lot of people, a lot of businessmen, a lot of guys. Uh, they have a lot of inner argument, a lot of voices in their heads, and that basically clouds their vision. It clouds their mission. And so I'm reading Napoleon Hill, listening to some rare recordings that you could barely find back in the old days. This was 20 years ago. And Napoleon Hill's publisher says, "Listen, we need a title. We're publishing next week. And if you don't have one, I'm calling it Use Your Noodle to Get the Boodle." And Napoleon Hill freaks out, man. He goes, "That'll ruin me. All this work ruined, right?" So he goes to bed and he basically does, "Okay, big guy, I need a title." And he woke up with Think and Grow Rich. I thought, all right, that's cool. I thought, I'm gonna go to bed. I lived in Pennsylvania at the time, at the top of the Appalachian whole thing. And I went to bed at the time and I did the whole, all right, I need something like that. And I woke up with change your name to the number of perfect vision. Not that I have that, but that's my message. You've got to, the only way to have uh, perfection in your life is to live from your vision, from your mission. So I did what any sane person would do. I ignored that. And I went to bed the next night. And I woke up the next day, Jake, and it's like, all right, won't go away. Third day. Woke up. I told my wife at the time, I got a problem. I just got a big problem. Here's what it is. And she's like, go for it. So in Pennsylvania, you got to do background checks, fingerprinting, all this stuff. So, like, all right, power of vision. I can't walk away from this. So I go to the Pennsylvania State Police Barracks in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and I sign in. Reason for your visit today: I need fingerprinting for a background check. Hand in your paperwork. I do, and this massive state trooper comes out, the kind that has their glasses mirrored on the inside, and he goes, "Who the heck wants to be a rap star?" And he looks around, and I'm the only one in the room. He goes, "You?" I said, "It ain't about rap, baby." So we go in the back, and he's inking me up to do the things. He goes, "Speak to me." And I said, "Listen, I'm an ex-cop, former corrections officer, got beat to death, PTSD, all that stuff. And something I've discovered over the years is if somebody has vision, they don't become your clients. And this guy goes, hold on. He gathers in all the troopers at the barracks. It was a shift change. And so I end up doing like a 25-minute talk to these kids, having a great time. And then 3 months later, I'm in front of the judge. And the judge goes, all right, sell me. All right, judge, this is not hard, right? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. If people don't have vision, you find them in this court. People that do have vision, they actually go on and make a difference in the world. And granted, bang. So now we're off to the races, and it's an insane experience. You know what's cool, Jake? I grew up in a culture. I grew up in America, and America was essentially founded by Native Americans. And the predominant culture in our culture is the Judeo-Christian. And the background of both have name change. In Native American culture, when you changed, they changed your name, and it went on your shield. And in the Judeo-Christian culture, there's so many other experiences in the Old and New Testament of name change. So it's your essence revealed. And honest to God, I feel that the power of vision is what moved me around the world. It's helped me build a couple businesses. Losing vision has allowed me to crash one or two. And at the end of the day, if we don't have vision, clarity, and focus going on, and I know that's what you do. Yeah, you help people, have clarity around what they do and how they do it and how they fit in. And my God, is there a better, higher calling than your vision?
And amen to it, man. And that's the absolute amen truth. The You say it so simply, and that's the remarkable part. And I always think about this is this: you say it so simply, and yet you made a point to commit to it in its entirety. I mean, you committed a lifestyle to it. You changed your name to Perfect
Yes.
Vision for the purpose of sharing that mission, sharing that vision with others so that they could understand it. Like, good on you, man. That is epic for making the commitment. And I love Napoleon Hill. Love that book. It's a great one. Another one is I'm thinking about how you're talking. I'm thinking about Simon Sinek. If you're a Simon Sinek fan at all, we've got our
I
fans out there
love
that
him.
are. Yeah. So I'm thinking about his second book where he's talking about the just cause. And he's talking
Yes.
about, the potato famine, and he's talking, and I'm thinking about
Yes.
this relative to what your commitment level is, to what your mission is. You have created a just cause around this vision statement. And I mean, that is like, I'm just got like the absolute, Twitter's going up and down my spine here. It's so good. So I could just keep praising on that, but let's just get into the story a little bit. So like you gave me some great questions. I'd love to take credit for these, and the audience knows I'm good at questions, but everybody knows that I send them out to our guests, and I'm like, hey, give me some questions you want me to ask you that are important to you. And these are some that Mr. 2020 gave us here. So what's the biggest lie? This is a good one because I love this question. What's the biggest lie people are telling themselves that keeps them stuck in the same old state?
Wow. I love that I don't remember the questions I sent you.
It's one of
I
yours.
think
You get credit for it.
I think the biggest lie is I'm not ready yet, which can show up in I need to prepare, Jake. In other words, oh my God, the conditions aren't perfect, so we have to delay this. And I don't know. I just think I'm a fan of not having goals. In other words, if a desire comes upon me, I consider that a gift. And I will accept that gift and run with it, or I won't. So when a desire comes upon me, it's like Christmas. And I get to unwrap it and play with it and take it home from grandma's house. And that doesn't mean I'm not into goals, right? But it means is my goals are gifts. And my goal, uh, I made a goal of doing some podcasts with cool kids. Here we are, right?
Yep.
And it really wasn't a goal, it was a gift. It was a desire to have conversations that I know will matter to the world. Maybe not to the masses, but to those who are seeking. And I didn't prepare for it. I didn't plan for it. I just decided, you know what, this fits my purpose. And can I have a conversation with this fellow that I know will bless him, bless me, and bless the world? Uh, or am I going to make an excuse? Oh,
Yeah, and that's I agree with you. Like I'm just not ready. I'm waiting for perfection. I'm waiting for this thing. I'm waiting
yes.
for this, or we talk about it all the time, and the audience hears me talk about. I use marathons all the time as a reference because I feel like a lot of people can get it. Not everybody has gone and run a marathon. Not everybody has tried to run a marathon. Not everybody
Yes.
has run a mile. And I get that. And yet, at some point, I almost guarantee you every person under some condition has said, I'm going to make it a goal to run a marathon in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
I'm going to do that this year. And then they come up with the lie of why they can't. Well, I'm too busy at work, or I'm not in the
Yep.
right shape, or blah 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 blah, right? All the things. And so let's expound on that, like goal versus desire. Goal versus the Christmas present. I like that concept too. It's seasonal. We're there. So like, let's expand on it a little bit. If at any point, and you can use that marathon piece as that, like, how do you differentiate a, let's call it a man-made goal, something I came
Yeah.
up with in my head of maybe I want to do that, but I'll lie to myself and get out of it, versus like a, call it divine intervention, something that you literally like is a
You bet.
calling for you. How do you know the difference?
I the only thing I can do is resist a gift. A goal, a man-made, egotistical goal that I think will make a difference comes from thinking.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, uh, when I give myself a divine gift, when I open up to the power of pure possibility, uh, I can't help but let that give to me. But here's the cool thing, right? If we're in goal orientation the way that a lot of people teach it, we're moving from imperfect to hopefully perfect someday. And it's not just about the goal, it's how people experience themselves. I'm not broken. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. I'm broken. And I need to improve me so I can do this. And it's a model that just destroys people from the inside. On the other hand, I'm the weird kid in the room. I was given a gift of looking at everything as a little boy and going, that's dumb. That's cool. How do they not see that? In other words, I was born seeing things differently. And as I grew older, I tried to fit in and I tried to quash myself down. And I set goals like to be the number one A person in spelling in high school. Never gonna, or grade school, never gonna happen. Kathy Nisgoda was too smart for me. Yeah, just I couldn't beat her. But that wasn't my gift. My gift is writing. My gift is speaking. And when I can accept my gifts, they reveal the glory that I'm here for. You've accepted your gifts, and they reveal the glory that you're here for. So more sunshine is in the world when I accept, oh my God, I could be the Kung Fu King again. I needed a hip replacement 2 years ago. I don't now because I accepted a new level of identity. I, I, I get to do Kung Fu again. I love Kung Fu. And then 2 years later, I'm teaching again. 2 years ago, I needed a walking stick. Today, I don't even know where they are. I just, I think we are capable of so much. But we've got to realize first, you're a gift, Jake. You're a gift to the world. You're a gift to your family. For the next 20 minutes or so, you're a gift to me like this. And we'll continue to give to each other. You're not a goal. You're a gift. And when you can accept those desires as gifts, you become brilliant. You radiate, and you don't got to push. It just all right becomes playful, and here we are.
Yeah, agreed. And like you speak my language, man, plain and simple, because everybody knows that my most recent book that I wrote, and I refer to myself as a professional small boy all the time for the exact same reasons that you're talking about. It doesn't have anything to, and you just said that, your gift is you have the ability to look at the world through a boy's eyes. You have the ability to experience it in that space. That has nothing to do with a maturity level, guys. That's got nothing to do with a maturity level. Well, sometimes maybe, and we'll allow that, and that's okay. However, it's remember when you were 8 years old, you viewed the universe through a different set of lenses, right? You saw it differently, you experienced it differently, and somewhere along the line, whether societal constraints or by decision, you stopped doing that. You don't have to. The world is just as big, it's just as cool, the sun is just as bright. There's so many things I have not experienced and don't know about yet. I mean, there's no reason for me to shift into this perceived adult, whatever it is. I don't even know what you would call it, that trap. But to look at the world through that lens, that's a beautiful gift. That is a
Yes,
beautiful gift because there's curiosity involved. There is clarity involved. There's question. How cool is this? How do I do that? Tell me more about that. And we're always going to evolve and we're always going to learn. So I love the concept of where you're talking about of being able to view it from that. Just it talks to me greatly. So we're doing like super positive about this, but like I want you to go a little deeper into your story. Like you don't have to go super deep on it, but like things happened in your universe. Like you kind of grazed over it. You were a correctional officer. Like things occurred in your life that affected change, right? And you made the decision to make the choices. So give us the kind of background story of what affected that change.
I when I was 23 years old, I was a corrections officer, newly married. I had 4 months on the job, and I got beat to death. Had the typical white light experience, all that stuff. Came back to post traumatic stress disorder, and my pants full of what your pants shouldn't be full of. When you die, things happen. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the best thing that happened to me, Jake. I, 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 I shared with people no little boy dreams of growing up to be a prison officer. And there I was. I had given up on my dreams of teaching martial arts full time. I couldn't even get a full time cop job. I was working part time for 3 departments, and I needed something steady, something with benefits, something blah, blah, blah. And then tragedy struck. And this has happened more than once. But, but realizing I just gave myself a gift. And I didn't know that at first. I had PTSD. The
Mm-hmm.
imagination was out of control. I was living in echoes of the darkness. But that set me on my path of really getting, you know what? Uh, you came here uh, to lift yourself out of the darkness. You came here to not just seek the light, but to be the light, to be a message, to be the kind of person that invites and inspires your kids, your wife, your neighbors to just do good and be good. And we all run into mayhem. And as damaged back in like 1989, 1990, I kept having the echoes and I played victim and all that stuff. And then one day I just began to realize, hold on, what if this was the best thing that ever could have happened to me? Instead of spending 10, 20, 30 years as a CO, moving up to sergeant, we had a cartoon in the prison that showed the different ranks, and the higher your rank, the bigger your belly. And I got it because all we do is stand around and eat starch. And it's like, what if every human being came here for some kind of fulfilling adventure? What if we came here to serve and to give and in whatever way, uh, be a blessing, to be brilliant, to just very simply show up and grow up in a lovely way. We don't have to get serious, uh, but we do have to acknowledge uh, you've got a specialness, Jake. I've got a specialness. Those are our gifts. And instead of us trying to identify as cats or crazy, uh, we get to realize that, like every songbird in the morning, my Native American mentor said, every songbird has a special song to sing. And those songs lift the sun up into the sky. That was their teaching. And it's like, what if Jake, what if Mr. 2020, what if the next person you interview acknowledged, I've got a sacred song within me. And singing that raises the sun up into the sky. It brings more light into the world. Denying that, worshiping at the altar of struggle, pretending that, all these opinions matter, they don't. You came here to sing a sacred song. You came here to let the sun shine through you, and and to be the gift.
For you to take, like, and it's so inspiring. It is so inspiring for you to take a tragic event, right? An event, but the reality is you decided it was a message. Like, you read it eventually for what it was
Yes,
meant to be. Was it a little extreme for you to get the message? Yes, there are those of us that are a little more stubborn than others and don't read the signs quite as well as a few people do. Some people, we all see them, right? They're just like, man, why are they breezing through life? Why is everything so easy for them? Because they're allowing it to be.
yeah,
They've stepped into their genius, whatever you want to call it. They've decided to be the light. They've decided to sing their sacred song, and they're cool with it, and they're accepting it. And then you look at some of the others that show up in the spaces that you got, beat to death in, and you had to take a beating. It's terrible,
yes,
but you
sir.
had to take a beating for you to understand it. I'm not different. I had a major accident, and I totally get it, man. You and I can resonate on that. White light, the whole deal. Stuff in your pants that doesn't belong there. Been there, did that. And some of us have to get adjusted a little more extremely to come to the realization of what we should be doing. So, if I was going to say the moral of that story is pay attention. Like, and I agree, man. How beautiful is that in the simple statement again? And you do it so eloquently with in so simple of operate, and there's the bird. Like, that couldn't have been better. Operate under the impression, assume that you have a sacred song to sing and it has a purpose. I
Yes,
agree with that completely, man, because that's the truth, that's the reality. Everybody's got a message, everybody's got a purpose. It's your job to find it. That's your point. That's your purpose. Your job is to find it and then live it out. That's your job.
that's
Whatever
it.
your belief is, and it's so unique. I've had such a great week because for whatever reason, and again, we don't prescribe to coincidence, I've had a series of really awesome guests this week with a similar tonality in their
Wow.
messaging, and it's been really good, man. I'm really really enjoying it. So, like, if you have one thing, just one thing you'd want to leave the audience with today, not that you haven't given them a mountain of great things already, but, like, put the cherry on top. What's the one thing you'd want to leave them with today?
I just did it to share it. Uh, Stop and be still and open up to possibility. I honest to God believe we came here as pure possibility. I was born 2 pounds 4 ounces. That's just like a little over a kilo for the metric people. Uh, they were surprised I had lungs. Right from day one, I was pure possibility. Right? We're either going to make it or not. Uh, and then other things. But anytime we're hypnotized by problems, if we can just stop, be still, and open up to the space that we are. And I'll give a practical example of this. Years ago, when I moved to Australia, I decided I will not get a job. They don't drive on the right side of the road, and I hate traffic. And so I started writing little PDF books and selling them for $7. And my wife would drive to a site where she had a mission, and I would go to the mall with a laptop and spend 7 hours writing a book that I will sell for $7. And I kept doing that. And so I had a vision, changing the world this way. And I had a mission, never get a job. And I had possibilities show up. What if I could write a book? If I sell it once, I made $1 an hour. If I sell it 1,000 times, I've made $1,000 an hour from that one little PDF. And that's possibility. We all have money problems. That's universal. It's hypnotic. We'll have money problems till the next president, prime minister, Congress, something. We'll tell some BS story. But on the other hand, what's the truth that sets you free? You are a gift to the world. You are pure possibility. And if you acknowledge that, the crazy idea of I could write a book in 7 hours, sell it for $7, put it here, put it there, and eventually I'll sell 1,000 of them, and that's $7,000. What else could I do to give to the world while that's going on? And now we dance.
Love that, man. Be the possibility. So Mr. 2020, that's pretty easy to get a hold of him. If you need to look at his website, Mr2020.com, spelled out, TWENTY.com. And I am Dr. Jake Clendenning. Thank you, Mr. 2020. On behalf of Michael Abersi, it is your turn to disrupt.
Thanks, Jake.